Greetings, PDA friends in New Mexico. I'm so sorry I'm not with you. Believe me, I'd rather be with you in New Mexico. After all, of the 43 states I've visited in the United States, believe it or not, New Mexico is not on that list. I could have gone to 44 this weekend, and I could have seen all of you, but the doc said no go, no dice. Then I had to stay home, so I did. I wanted to let you know about an exciting effort that's going on this year. It's being really spearheaded by the work of the National Nurses United and the California Nurses Association. But we certainly want PDA and all of our allies in single-payer work to be with us and moving with us on this effort. You've heard me talk about it on our IoT calls for healthcare, not warfare, and for healthcare as a human right. So the Medicare 50th anniversary celebration coming up at the end of July, July 30th, 2015, is looking to be really an exciting time for all of us. I'm doing some work organizing around the country with allies and with other interested people who want to support the notion that we need to preserve and protect Medicare, and we also need to improve and expand it to cover everyone. So the messaging is pretty clear and pretty wonderful. Medicare is as all-American as apple pie, as my wonderful co-conspirator and single payer, my former boss, and my wonderful mentor, Michael Leidy, came up with that idea of all-American as apple pie. So I know he's there with you this weekend, and I'm glad that we all have this idea about moving forward on the Medicare anniversary. So what does that mean for PDA and for our work on the Medicare anniversary? Well, we are so important out in the communities and with our representatives and with our colleagues and neighbors and friends. I want you to engage in the calls, the monthly planning calls we're having on the anniversary. The next call is up for March the 12th at 3 in the afternoon Mountain Time, which is where I'm sitting. But also that would then be 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Central, 3 Mountain, 2 Pacific. And for our friends in Hawaii, and yes, they are planning an event and action on July the 30th to celebrate Medicare's anniversary, it'll be noon for them. We're going to keep planning and hoping that people come up with wonderful, substantial events in their cities where many allies can combine their efforts together and work to make those events meaningful and something that the media can really see that there's growing pressure and a growing drive from the people of the United States to make sure that Medicare is preserved, protected, improved, and expanded. You can also go to the MedicareTurns50.org website that I set up and brought live on February 1st. It has some features in it that you can interact with right now. Those features will be enhanced as we go forward, and they'll also be developed much more. We want PDA folks, if you see articles about Medicare or you see articles that you think would be of interest in the anniversary celebration efforts, please do plan to either send them to me or send them to Connor and Andrea, and they can forward them on to me as well, and I will post them on that site if you'd like to see them. So again, it's MedicareTurns50.org. There was a reason I set up a separate site for the events and the actions, not just because I want people to engage on that day and really be a part of the planning of the events, but also because there is some hope that people who previously had been working on the Affordable Care Act, who, you know the ones out there who told us, oh, I'm really a single-payer supporter, but right now I'm going to work on the Affordable Care Act. Well, now's the time. The Affordable Care Act passed. It's in its implementation phases, well into its implementation phases, and now's the time for those people to really step up and work with us on passing single payer and getting on with it so that we can provide the kind of health care that we all deserve in the United States. So look again for MedicareTurns50.org. You can find it on the website. You can also find it on Facebook. I will be setting up a Twitter account as we get closer. I'll be doing media work as we look for stories from people who've either been helped tremendously by Medicare or those who really feel like their situation would be helped tremendously by having Medicare. Please make sure to encourage that those stories are shared with us. I'm not so much interested in seeing people give praise to single payer. Those of us who are part of the movement, we know that. We don't need an awful lot of testimony about how great single payer is. What we really need is to grow this movement and make it the kind of movement that we all can be a part of and really move our legislators forward. In the future, I'm sure that we will elect more legislators who are single-payer oriented and who are supporters, but in the meantime, we've got to push those people we have to support what the people of this country want, and overwhelmingly that still is moving towards a national social insurance model. There's lots of work going on in individual states, so right now the events that I know are planned surrounding Medicare's anniversary range from events in Hawaii, as I talked about, events in the Bay Area and in Los Angeles, events in Denver, of course, events in Chicago. We're looking at, I'm hearing that the nurses are going to put together something wonderful in Washington, D.C. I know some of you have heard about the DUH effort that's going on in D.C. on August 1st. While we certainly applaud anyone who would like to do a march on behalf of healthcare justice, that march is really not the one that is celebrating Medicare's anniversary on the 30th, which is Thursday the 30th. So we have spoken with the DUH folks about that effort, and we'll keep those lines of communication open. I know you've got Mark Dudzik with you there in New Mexico as well, and Mark and I have been doing a great deal of talking about this too. So onward we go, and let's make this Medicare anniversary one that really soars for all of us and makes a change in policy something that's more likely sooner rather than later. I have no desire 10 years from now to try and brag about how many years I've been working on single payer. What I do have the desire to do is be part of the team that helps achieve it. So let's go, team, let's get it done, and let's make this Medicare 50th anniversary the best we possibly can. Thanks much, and have a great time in New Mexico, and I will see you next time, PDA on the road.